Hello, I'm Jerry Fort. Thought I'd do a story time. Um, Arbitrary Adventures was curious about what I did after I quit school. Um, so we'll just start there. Um, After I quit school, which was, I turned 16 years old, and I was halfway through 8th grade at the time when I turned 16 because of being held back 2 years. So I asked my mom, when I turned 16, can I quit? I'm not doing good in school. I just want out. And she simply said, well, your older brothers did the same thing, so, go ahead if that's what you want to do. I said, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want to do. So she let me quit. Should she have done it? I don't know. Some people would say she should have made me stay in school. Other people say, it was your decision on whether or not, well, of course it's my decision, I just was done, But my dad, he didn't care, but he did say, if you're gonna quit school, you're gonna go to work. So he worked at, I don't know if everybody's heard of this or not. He worked at an Elks Lodge there in Loveland, Colorado, and my older brother actually, around the same time, was working at a moose lodge, which was kind of funny. And I helped both of them set up for functions and tear down after they were done. Pretty neat establishments. But my dad knew the manager of the Elks Lodge he worked for. He actually worked for this Elks Lodge, and he was the custodian. So I helped him numerous times. We'd get up at something really like the crack of dawn to go set up for events that they were having in the ballroom and stuff like that. So I was familiar with the place, and so he talked to the manager and asked him if they needed some help, that Jerry needs a job. And he says, well, actually, we need a dishwasher. So he's like, okay, I'll let Jerry know. And he asked me, he told me, and I was like, yeah, that sounds great, so I got my first job as a dishwasher. No, they didn't have machines back then. I had to wash by hand. We had big tubs, or sinks that had, you filled this one up with hot soapy water, put all your dishes in there, wash them. The next sink was for rinsing, which had clean rinsing water in it. I can't remember if we put a little bit of bleach in there for sanitization. I can't remember for sure. Actually, it might have been 3 sinks. I think you wash, rinse, and then the 3rd sink was a sanitizing deal, and then you rack them. I think it was something like that. But so anyway, yeah, I was making $2.85 an hour, and the guy that worked with me on busy nights, he was a real nice guy. He trained me and showed me the ropes, and pretty soon he said that he was going to quit. He had something else he was going to do, so he quit. So then I had to train somebody, and it didn't work out. It was an older lady, and she gave me crap all the time, and she tried to become my boss. She tried to become my supervisor. She was trying to tell me what to do, and it wasn't working out. And I would always go home. I was, 16 years old. I'd complain to my dad, this woman is driving me nuts. Told him what she was doing. He told Lowell, was the manager's name, and he said, okay, I'll get rid of her. If she can't get along with Jerry and do as he says, then she's gone. So they got me somebody else, and that didn't work out. So I talked to one of my friends at school and asked him if he wanted to, work, wash dishes, help me on busy nights, start working for the lodge. And he says, yeah, I'll do that. So I think it might have been his first night. So, we wore bib aprons, and they kind of hung down like a kilt down to your knees. And he come in and he had like a real bad cold. And why he did this, I have no idea. But we had waitresses coming in and out of the dish room getting plates and stuff. He brings the apron down, the bib or the apron part that's hanging down. He brings it up and blows his nose in his apron, and then he opens it up like this with a stretch of snot, and a waitress walks in at that very moment and sees this, and she gags and she throws up, and she goes and reports it to Lowell, and he's gone that quick. And I told one of my other friends about what happened, and that friend told somebody else, and somebody else told someone else. Pretty soon it was all over school about what happened. Of course, I wasn't at the school anymore, but so it was a guy I went to school with. But yeah, he was pretty upset that everybody found out about it. But yeah, oh well. Anyway, so I worked that job for about a year, and then after a year, $2.85, and I've been through people, I've trained people. I was in charge of making French fries down in the basement. I had to, peel potatoes, bunches of potatoes, put them in the French fry deal, was, blades, little square blades, had a handle. You set it up there, catch it up out underneath the little masher, and then you pull the thing down and it mashes them right through the blades, and then all the French fries go into a bucket. And what you're supposed to do after you get a bucket of them, then you take them and you put water in them, and you put this stuff called Veggie-Ready, which was supposed to keep them from browning, and you put a lid on it, and it keeps them preserved, for overnight and stuff. That stuff was potent. And I had to have a fan down that was hot. That stuff would blow in my face, get me all sinusy. It was terrible. I hated that stuff. I had to do that I had 2 hours before I'd go home at the end of the night, and I'd have to make French fries every night. So I worked like Wednesday through Saturday, something like that. Saturday nights were the busy nights. Unless they had a special event, then I need a helper on a lot of times, to keep up. Someone washing, someone rinsing, someone racking, and this, that, and other. So, yeah, I went to the manager. I said, "Hey, Lowell, I've been here for a year. I've been doing good, I feel, can I get a 10-cent raise?" And he says, "Well, Jerry, if I go giving out raises, then everybody else is going to want one. So, no, I'm going to have to hold off on doing that right now." And I was like, "Okay, well then you have my 2 weeks notice." So, and I told my dad I was going to ask him for it. And he says, "Yeah, if he doesn't give you a 10-cent raise, then, I wouldn't stay there because that's stupid." So, left there and wasn't working there anymore, which I didn't miss that job at all. But yeah, I got another job working with my brother Larry, who lived in Colorado at the time and has moved back there since then. He's living there in Fort Collins, which is not too far from Loveland right now. But that next job, that's a whole nother story in itself. I won't have enough time to tell about it if I stop at about 10 minutes. So I'll just tell you the name of the store that I worked at, and then I'll make another video telling you about that job, I liked that job. That was pretty cool. It was a music store, and it was called Natural Music Center. I was a delivery guy. There's the story for the next one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See y'all in the next one.